So it's been about 3 days since Election Day, and as we suspected, we still don't know who the winner of the election is. And we knew that we wouldn't know who won the election by now, because we knew that there would be a surge of mail-in ballots because of a global health crisis going on. People don't want to go to a place where there's going to be a lot of people, and I promise you, in the United States, when you go to vote, there are a lot of people. I'm looking at you, voter suppression. I'm looking at you. But one surefire way to find out who won the election, and it sounds really simple, but bear with me, is to count the votes. I promise you, it really is as simple as it sounds. You just count up the votes of all of the people that voted. But the Trump supporters, the Trump campaign, everyone in the Trump sphere, the MAGA sphere, are sending out mixed messages. It could be because, as of where it stands right now, Donald Trump is behind in the vote tallies, but they're confusing me. They're confusing a lot of people. I'm of the mind that we should count the votes, but the Trump team, the Trump supporters, they have a bit of a different message. So take a look at Trump supporters and their message, and I'll try to untangle their thinking for you.
As I mentioned, we are not prepared to give that number.
The Biden crime family stealing the election. The media is covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering up. We want our freedom for the world. Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is covering up this election. He's stealing it.
Where were we? What was the last question?
Stop that count. 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 The Sharpie, and then also, listen, who's checking the mail-in votes?
Democrats! Democrats are checking them! Democrats are checking!
Count them votes. Count them votes.
Only Democrats!
This ain't gonna go away.
Count the votes! The votes!
So I know those messages are a little conflicting, so let me break this down for you just a little bit. So there in Arizona and there in Michigan, you have Trump supporters. The Trump supporters in Arizona are saying count the votes, whereas the Trump supporters in Michigan are saying stop the count. Two completely different messages, conflicting in many ways. Some people might even say that they're opposites. The Trump supporters in Arizona are saying count the votes because, as it stands right now, Donald Trump is behind Joe Biden in Arizona. And they're of the belief that if you count all of the votes, which apparently you're not currently doing, then Donald Trump would surge past Joe Biden. If you actually count all the votes, Donald Trump wins. Then you have Trump supporters in Michigan saying stop the count because they're of the belief that the mail-in ballots are fraudulent, which they aren't fraudulent. So they're saying that Joe Biden is ahead because all of these fraudulent and illegal votes are being counted, which is not the case at all. So two completely different messages, conflicting opposite messages, and the only reason that they're doing this is because they're desperate. They are really desperate. It's really looking like Donald Trump is going to lose as it stands right now. It could be the blue mirage. It could be just, the right votes haven't been counted in the right areas. But Joe Biden's ahead in electoral votes, and Donald Trump supporters are getting desperate. Donald Trump himself is getting desperate. In a democratic country, in a democracy, you count the votes. It's as simple as that. And if you disagree that you shouldn't count legally cast votes, then you don't believe in democracy. It's as simple as that. So this is, pretty dictatorial, saying don't count the votes, saying that the votes that are cast for Joe Biden are fraudulent, This is someone who wants to cling to power as much as possible because him and his cronies are in for a bad time if Joe Biden wins and prosecutes every single last one of them. I don't think that's going to happen, but they're scared that it might. So bottom line, just count the votes. Just count the votes. Count all the votes in all the states, and whoever wins, wins. That's it. That's it. But continue, keep watching out for these Trump supporters. They're going to say stop the votes where Joe Biden's ahead. They're going to say count the votes where Joe Biden's ahead. And they might even storm buildings. Brooks Brother Riot Part 2. They'll show up in mobs. They'll show up armed. Because that's just who Trump supporters are. Sore losers who just can't believe that someone like Donald Trump would lose to Joe Biden. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Agree or disagree, let's have a conversation. And subscribe to join the political revolution against mainstream media. CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, they're all bought and paid for. Independent progressive media is the path forward. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.